Oh boy, I can feel it now. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this one. So I don't usually do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this time. This redo is definitely a makeover, not a restoration. So my sister-in-law wants this to fit in with her more contemporary decor. I am going to do my best to give her back this buffet in the color of her choice. This won't be to everyone's taste, but I think there's a good lesson to learn in that furniture style is a very personal thing. And if it's your piece of furniture, you have every right to do with it whatever makes you happy. So stick around and see what happens. Looks like someone put a makeshift shelf in here. Obviously, that's not the original. They put a little bracket on both sides and just put a piece of wood. So I'm going to take that out. I'll talk to my sister-in-law and see if she wants to keep it, and maybe we can come up with a better solution. Here's a good shot of the front of the door and the inside of the other door. You can see the difference in the color. And that's just from, one being exposed to light and one being in the dark most of its life. Now, one thing I have noticed about this, I wasn't even sure about this when I first brought it home, if it was just this color from age or what, but it has been stained. You can see the stain all along here. So this darker stain is not its natural color. Oak obviously is lighter, but you never know what happens to it after it's been around in someone's home for years and years. Oops. Now this is interesting. This looks to me like it was some sort of mechanism to hold on a mirror. The mirror is long gone. So I think I'm going to remove this and fill this because see how it fits? It sticks up all off the back and you're going to see that. So I think it would look better since there's no mirror going back on it. I think it'll look better if I remove this. Haven't actually seen this before. I don't work with a lot of antiques, so I haven't seen this kind of mechanism before. It's pretty cool. Now here's a little mystery that I found. Underneath the drawer on the inside of the cabinet, there's all these nails tacked in. And they're all measured out, all evenly spaced. I can't for the life of me figure out why that would be there. Or if anybody has any ideas, I'd be really curious to know why someone would put all these nails on the underside of where the drawer goes, inside a cabinet. One even fell out and embedded itself right here, which, well, I'm going to get pliers to pull it out. But I am going to remove all these because I don't see any use for them. It's just weird not knowing why someone would have put those all in there. I'm trying denatured alcohol to remove the failing finish because my first thought that it was probably shellac, but denatured alcohol didn't work very well, so I moved on to the strong stuff and I used my usual paint stripper. I've stripped the top with a paint stripper, and it got a lot of the finish off, so that's good. It did get all of the finish off, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape the rest of it just to get any of the extra stuff off. Just lightly. This odorless mineral spirits that I'm using is amazing. It has absolutely no odor. Seems to be working fairly good, cleaning the top off of the residue from the stripper. Now my thought right now is that I'm going to just clean off the rest of it because the rest of it's in really, really good shape. I'm just going to clean off the rest of it, and I'm going to stain right over it. Okay, the solution I've come to for the back hole here is I've got a dowel that's almost the right size that'll fit into that hole, so that's good. And in the back here, I am just going to put some Bondo in to fill the gap so there's no hole. And that should solve the problem. Make it sturdy. Once it's stained on the top, you barely notice where the hole is, so should work. I can't seem to get the handles off. I unscrewed them, but I'm not sure. They're not coming off at all. I tried to pry them off, but I don't want to damage the veneer. So I'm going to go around with some paint stripper and see if that loosens it up. Maybe there's some weird way that they're attached that I don't understand. So we'll see. Here's the underside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, it's going to allow me to sand the legs a little bit easier because it's not sitting on its feet anymore. And it'll also allow me to put in the little plastic feet. They're quite chewed up. So I'm going to be doing some sanding to get rid of all the rough edges. And I'll also clean all this up because it doesn't look very nice. The dent is gone. It's gone, yahoo! The moment of truth. I am staining the entire piece black. I'm using a water-based stain and I'm going over all the previous finish that I scuff sanded and of course the top which I sanded back to the bare wood. The water-based stain covers better over previous finish as opposed to like an oil-based stain. I give the piece 2 coats of stain. My aim is to give the overall piece the impression of black but still retain a little hint of what the original piece looked like. The only problem when you use a water-based stain is you don't have as much working time with it as an oil-based stain. So I'm going to put a couple lines of stain on and then I am going to wipe off right away. Because I don't think if I do the whole thing, I think it's going to take me too long. We'll see. I took the piece out in my backyard to spray a water-based lacquer on it. I gave it 2 coats on the overall piece inside and out, and I added a 3rd coat for extra durability on the top. I am currently just under 9,000 subscribers. For those of you watching who are not subscribed, It's free, so please consider subscribing. It helps my content get watched and offered up to more viewers that way, and the more eyeballs on my redos, the better YouTube likes me. Comments and likes also help. So whatever you can do, I do appreciate it. Now back to the reveal. Now, I know this is not everyone's cup of tea, but I think when I drop this one off at its new home, my sister-in-law will be very happy. See you next time.